Well, the last time that we were together, well, actually the last 2 times that we were together, we were working on this beautiful patio table for my wife to enjoy while she's poolside, sitting in her chaise lounge. And if I recall, the last time that we were together, we were working on the joinery. The table is held together with mortise and tenon joinery and pocket screws. And so here, testing the fit of a mortise and tenon joint, which is a little bit tight. So we're trying to get the rails fitted into the leg parts here, so we've got our chisel and we're shaving down on that tenon just a bit to work on this fit just a little bit. If you recall, the tenons were fashioned on the table saw. No stack dado, no fancy jigs, just the table saw. It was all cross-cut to the specific height, and so when you make your tenons that way, it leaves it a little rough, and sometimes you get some cleanup to do. It's okay, it's all worth it for nice, tight-fitting mortise and tenons. Let's have another look and see here. Well, we want to make sure that that shoulder's clean. If the shoulder on the tenon isn't clean, you won't get a good fit. It won't seat properly. Each one of these pieces, I just flipped that, as you can see, each one of them is specific to each mortise has its specific tenon, so I'm gonna tap this one in there gently. Let's see how we look.
Close.
Yeah, close. A little more work to do, maybe. Put that back off. Watch out for the camera. Oop.
Sorry about that. Sorry again.
Careful. I got it dangerous with a hammer. There we go. So we get our chisel and clean out the mortise just a little bit. I think that's probably why it isn't quite seating properly. It needs to be just a little bit deeper, I think. You gotta take your time when you do this. This should be a part of the fun. I know sometimes it can be a little bit tedious, but getting a really good fit and having it seat properly like that is the fun of woodworking. So like I said, we've got a lot of pieces and got them marked before, but you really couldn't see them. Now you really can see them with the painter's tape. I'll tell you exactly where each one goes. Each has its own place. So we're almost ready to fashion the tabletop to it, so we're going to put a round over. 1/4-inch round over on the tabletop. Even though it's a table, it won't be really used as a stool. While this might not be imperative, it might get used as a stool, so a round over just to make the edges a little more comfortable. Plus, if you bump into it, and it's got a round over, it won't hurt as much. There we go. Looking nice. It's a really neat thing about this pine. It is so old. You can see the age of the wood in it. Just so it's got such deep, rich colors. Time to do a little sanding. So we start with either 60 or 80 grit sandpaper. We need a little placemat there to hold it in place. So we're going to go from 60 all the way up to 800 grit sandpaper. And you might be thinking, holy cow, 800 grit for a piece of patio furniture? That's overkill. And you may be right. But if you've got the sandpaper, you got the tool, and enough cold beer, might as well. So we're making our way through the grits, and oh, there's that barley soda in the background. So I only endorse partaking of barley sodas when you're doing something that won't cost you a finger. So you'll never see me drinking beer anywhere near the table saw, but orbital sander, I think we'll be okay. And if you notice, and it's not that I don't throw anything away, I do throw some things away, but the little clips holding the sandpaper discs to keep them from blowing away are off of a clothes hanger from Walmart. So we're going to use a gel-based stain with a little piece of t-shirt to wipe it on. So we'll wipe it on and give it a good generous coat, and then we'll wipe off the excess. So a decent application of it. And then we'll wipe it off. I don't know if you noticed the difference in the color of shirt and the difference in beverage, but this is the next day because I've got my Yeti coffee mug for my nice hot coffee. If you're going to be in the wood shop early in the morning, man, you better have some coffee. Actually, if you're going to be anywhere early in the morning, you should have a nice hot cup of coffee. And even though it's in the morning, we're in Texas, and so it's warm. So I got my little makeshift air conditioner just behind. There's the styrofoam cooler with 4 holes drilled in it, and it's half full of ice. And then just on top of it, there's a small desk fan, really, that I blow air in from the top, and then that forces the cool air out through the holes, and that keeps me from going into overheat mode. Because my garage does get a bit hot. I don't have an air conditioner in there. I know I've been threatening, but I just got through buying some kayaks to go on some fishing adventures with my lovely bride. And probably my kids too, but not quite in the budget right now for a garage air conditioner. First things first, right? Now we're ready to work on the tabletop. So same thing, we're going to give it a nice liberal coat with a cotton applicator. Another shot of the makeshift air conditioner, and it really does make a big difference. It doesn't cool the entire garage, but that area that I'm working right now probably is 15 degrees cooler than the rest of the garage, just because of the cool air that comes out. So it really is, it's pretty neat. It's a pretty cheap investment too. It's probably $25 invested in the whole thing. So we'll finish putting on the stain and wiping off the excess. And then we will just about be ready for final sanding. Well, this is where we started. We're almost ready to see the finished product, but here's what we started with. Not so pretty. Radiant barrier, twisted piece of pine lumber, and we finish up with something like this. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful little patio table for my wife to use while sitting in her chaise lounge. Thanks for watching.